Ep gives out to a lifeguard. The cast. Bro equals brother, the main. Ep equals entitled parent. CG equals crotch goblin. It was summertime and bro is working in the local pool. They host numerous pool parties and have to shut down or block bits of the pool so they can do them. That day they had 3 in one day. The last party was at 4 PM, 2 hours before closing time. Bro was on deck as he led the previous. Time for the juicy bit. Ep had 3 kids, but there was only one that caused trouble. Here's the CG. They were at the shallow end of the biggest pool. The rulies, you are not allowed to jump into the pool, especially at the shallow end. CG was jumping into the pool. Bro comes over and asks could CG stop jumping into the pool. Ep misheard and goes on a rant. Ep, what am I supposed to, since you closed the small pool? Bro, ma'am. Ep, I thought this is supposed to be a public pool. Bro gets angry and finally says, can your child stop jumping? Ep replies, oh sorry, mom needs to rest, so she sends, without supervision, her kids to the Turkish baths and says we harass her when they disturb other people. Mom bought the access to a spa I work. Her kids had access to the Turkish baths, but being really young, they have to be with their parents. Seems logical, but many forget that they are supposed to watch over them, and if anything happens to them, we need to know who to talk to. So the mom sends her 2 sweet angels who are young boys. They make noise by playing, laughing loudly. We loom for her. We explain she has to be with them or near them. Of course we disturb her precious time of her reading her book. We harass her in supervising her own kids, but she paid for her entrance to rest. So of course she knew better than us and insulted, calmly but fiercely, with experience might I say, my colleagues for being awful, calling her out. We absolutely failed to understand she wasn't here to be a mom, but we had to do her job of course, and respect and praise her for her need to relax. Of course we didn't, and she left very angry. She remained calm, but was a really harsh stone cold bitch with her attitude and words. Really, how can we cope with this people? What's wrong so they don't understand easy rules? My grandma is the Ep. My grandma can be the sweetest person in the world, but she can be entitled when she feels it. I have to make her coffee 6 times a day. Consider this, that's almost 5 Starbucks trips in a 24-hour span. The worst of it is, she feels the need to drag me down with her by making me take a bit of the coffee. How is this bad? I'm recovering from a nasty caffeine addiction, and she feels the need to push the very substance I'm trying to cut out of my diet. I have to wash her clothes daily because she frequently pees herself, because she refuses to go to the fucking bathroom by herself, or will make me, a guy who has no clue how to handle someone with incontinence issues, help her go to the bathroom. If I'm gone from the house for even a small amount of time, she'll call in a search party to look for me. Can't even go to the bathroom without her calling out my name asking for help. I'd try talking to her about her behavior, but she'd guilt and shame me into silence about it. Once when I swore at her in frustration over her nagging, my uncles overheard this, and literally right to my face, threatened to kick my ass if I swore at her. The worst thing she'd do is use a tone of voice only reserved for when someone is about to point a gun in your face and scream my name to get my attention, only to find out that she needed help with something. But here's the thing, that woman pretty much saved myself and my sister from going into foster care by pooling her resources with my aunt to have legal guardianship over my sister and I wouldn't forget that for anything. She's pretty much treated me like I was her 3rd son almost. It's just the entitlement creeps up. You might think this is fake. Let me reassure you, anything my family does is too insane for it not to be real. Of course she's a child. I witnessed this a few months ago. I catch the bus to work. A woman gets on with a teenager girl, daughter. She asks for 1 adult and 1 child. The driver states that the teenager looks too old for a child ticket. The parent insists she's 12. She looked old enough to vote. The driver asks for ID, which, of course they don't have. Driver says they have to buy adult tickets. The mother stamps her foot and refuses to move until she is sold 1 adult and 1 child. Driver, you have 3 seconds to get off my bus before I call the police. Mother, fine 2 adult tickets. Driver, no. You're not getting on. Get off the bus now. You can catch another bus but not mine. The mother and daughter step off, and the bus sets off. The daughter looked mad that the journey had been delayed by her mother's penny pinching. Sorry, it's not more exciting. Reality is often dull. How I ruined a father's food budget. Good evening everyone. I'm using my wife's account as I don't have the desire to make my own, and wish to share this quick story. Little Paladin and I went to the supermarket this afternoon to get a few things for our freezer, as well as I wanted to make some katsudon and homemade sushi. We head over to the beef section and there is a gentleman standing with his cart flushed to the cooler and standing so he is taking up most of the space, his child screaming some words from a song, as well as a desire for ice cream. I ask the father if I could just have a little space to get a pot roast, and he tells me to not rush him. I tell my wife to go get the cereals and seltzer water and wait for my turn. He eventually moved, and then I go over to the poultry. Can't make chicken katsu without it. Again, same deal as before. Spread out, won't move. He tells me to wait your turn, woman. I do not put up with that shit. I reach in and snatched the closest family pack of chicken and he snapped at me to put it back. Says he might pick it. Nope. Into my cart it goes, and just to be a bitch I snatch another one and decide that I'm going to feast like a king tonight. All the while he's telling me I'm ruining his budget. What is his daughter going to eat? I retort by saying not my problem, you Chad. Also, there was plenty of meat there. Apparently I'm considered an asshole for this, but hey, I'm not going to be a timid housewife. M brings her 4 kids to an adult-only wedding. I attended an adult-only wedding for a co-worker a few days ago. The actual ceremony was in a very small church, so it was mostly family and close friends, but the reception was for roughly 250 people. The reception was at a very elegant hotel ballroom. Not child-friendly in any way. Crystal stemware, expensive linens on the table, etc. About 1/2 hour into the reception a commotion started that made everyone stare. M is arguing with the wedding planner loudly. Me being the nosy broad that I'm inched closer to hear. Turns out M brought her 4 young children to the reception, even though the invitations clearly stated adults only. The M insisted that her kids, I'm guessing at ages, but the oldest one looked 8ish and the youngest was under a year old, were super well behaved, so it was fine. Now keep in mind this was around 7:30 p.m. WP was having none of it. She insisted that children were not allowed, and she had to leave. In a last-ditch effort to get admitted, M shouted at the bride. The bride went over and listened to her for a moment and then said in a syrupy sweet voice, "Of course you can come in, M, but your children cannot." She turned on her heel and went back to her new husband. M flipped a nut, yelling about how she was invited, cold and find the babysitter, etc. 3 of the groomsmen escorted her and her kids to the door. Ep and Ek tried take my devices to play COD. So since you guys liked my last post, I'm going to hit you with another one. Also, I'm going to try and not over exaggerate everything like the other posts and keep it short and simple. So this happened a few days ago on my mum's birthday. We were hosting a big party and all her friends were coming with their kids. Most of them I knew as they went to my school. However, there was one kid I did not know, Ekaka entitled kid. He was about 6 and was the type of kid to cry over spilt milk. Anyways, I was in my room whilst all the kids were in the pool. I was in the bathroom when I heard my door open. Now I had my phone and laptop in my top drawer, and when I heard someone rummaging through my drawers I came out and confronted who I thought to be my mum looking for something to eat, picking up my laptop and phone. Immediately he tried to run out of the room. I stopped him and he started sulking and throwing a tantrum. Then I heard Ep, entitled parent, stop up the stairs. And she asked what's going on here? And just as I try I hear Ek scream about me hitting him and no letting him play Call of Duty. Ep then proceeds to say to let him because he has not a lot of friends and that he should be able to play as he is the guest. I guess Ep did not know that Call of Duty Black is rated M. I then proceed to respond with a simple sorry he is not old enough and that it was too gruesome for him. Yet after all that explaining as to why he cannot play an 18 rated game, she proceeded to say that he was a good boy and that he deserved to play. So she tried to budge me out the way to get to Ek so she can leave with my electronics. At this point, I just called my mom and she had to kick them out. We have never heard anything from them again. Sorry if it was short and not so detailed. I don't want it to be like the extreme stories. Have a good day.